In the heart of a desolate countryside, shrouded in thick, swirling fog that obscured the surrounding landscape, stood an ancient mansion known to the locals as the Blackthorn Manor. This foreboding structure, with its dark, imposing facade, had been an enigma for generations, evoking both fear and fascination among those who dared to gaze upon it. Tales of terror and the supernatural had circulated about the place like a haunting melody, whispered from one generation to the next. The origins of Blackthorn Manor were steeped in mystery, its history buried deep within the annals of time. The structure's Gothic architecture, adorned with intricate, weathered carvings that seemed to come alive in the faint light, hinted at a long-lost era of opulence and decadence. But beneath its grand exterior lay the unsettling truth. Many believed the mansion was cursed, haunted by the vengeful spirit of Lady Genevieve Blackthorn, the tragic mistress of the house who had met a mysterious and untimely end there, a century ago. Legend had it that Lady Genevieve had been a captivating beauty with raven-black tresses cascading down her slender figure, her eyes an alluring shade of emerald green that could enchant anyone who dared to meet her gaze. She was said to have lived a life of opulence and privilege, the lady of the manor who danced gracefully through life's ballroom, attended by a retinue of admirers. But behind those opulent walls, whispers began to circulate, tales of her growing fascination with the occult and the esoteric, a dangerous path she had chosen to tread. As the nights grew longer and the moon hung high in the pitch-black sky, the eerie lights that flickered within the mansion's windows seemed to beckon the curious and the brave, inviting them to unveil the mysteries hidden within its walls. But those who had ventured close enough to hear the chilling tales from within its confines often returned with eyes filled with dread and terror. They spoke of ghostly apparitions wandering the shadowed hallways, of echoes of sorrowful whispers resonating through the chilly air, and of a mournful figure in white that seemed to roam the grounds. It was said that on the darkest of nights, when the wind howled like tormented spirits and the trees groaned in agony, the mansion would come alive with malevolent energy. Blood-curdling screams would pierce the stillness, sending shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls who dared to draw near. The locals avoided the vicinity of Blackthorn Manor like the plague, casting furtive glances toward the foreboding mansion whenever they had no choice but to pass by its menacing gates. Despite the tales of horror and the warnings from the villagers, the allure of the haunted house proved too powerful for some adventurous souls, seeking to test the boundaries of the living and the realm of the unknown. They came, driven by a mix of morbid curiosity and a desire to conquer their own fears, hoping to catch a glimpse of the infamous ghostly apparition or to uncover the truth behind the chilling legends that enshrouded the mansion. Little did they know that Blackthorn Manor's secrets were as elusive as the phantoms that supposedly haunted its halls, and those who dared to venture within its walls often found themselves entangled in a web of darkness and despair. For the mansion held more than just ghosts, it held the echoes of forgotten stories, the whispers of long-lost souls yearning to be heard, and the haunting legacy of Lady Genevieve Blackthorn, forever bound to the house that had become her eternal prison. One stormy evening, as the rain beat relentlessly against the library's windows and lightning flashed like ethereal specters in the sky, Sarah, a young and intrepid journalist with an insatiable appetite for the paranormal, found herself drawn to an antiquated chest nestled in a dimly lit corner of the archives. The chest, covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs, exuded an air of ancient mystery, as if it held forgotten secrets waiting to be unveiled. Curiosity getting the better of her, Sarah delicately brushed off the years of neglect and carefully opened the chest. Inside, amidst yellowed parchment and faded photographs, she discovered a treasure trove, a journal belonging to a maid who had served at the enigmatic Blackthorn Manor during the era of Lady Genevieve. As she turned the fragile pages, the ink of the maid's words seemed to breathe life into the past, recounting chilling accounts of the inexplicable occurrences that had plagued the mansion. The maid's trembling pen revealed the gradual transformation of Lady Genevieve from a captivating lady of the manor to a woman consumed by an insatiable hunger for the occult. The journal pages revealed snippets of Lady Genevieve's relentless pursuit of forbidden knowledge, her fascination with arcane symbols, and her clandestine meetings with enigmatic figures rumored to be practitioners of the dark arts. It became apparent that her quest for power and understanding had taken a sinister turn, leading her deeper into the shadows of the occult, where dark forces lurked, waiting to ensnare their unsuspecting prey. Sarah's heart raced as she immersed herself in the maid's hauntingly written accounts, sensing that she was on the precipice of uncovering a story that transcended time and space. The words on the pages spoke of Lady Genevieve's descent into madness, her obsession consuming her like a ravenous flame, until she was no longer recognizable to those who had once known her. The chilling entries spoke of spectral apparitions wandering the moonlit halls, ethereal forms that seemed to traverse the boundaries between the living and the dead. Sarah shuddered, feeling an inexplicable chill in the air around her as she read about the anguished wails and ghostly whispers that echoed through the mansion's empty rooms, a symphony of sorrow that continued to resonate even in the present day. Through the maid's eyes, Sarah caught glimpses of Lady Genevieve's tormented soul, torn between the alluring promises of the occult and the inevitable doom that awaited her at the hands of a superstitious and fearful society. The maid's writings hinted at a tragic tale of betrayal and loss, a story obscured by the passage of time and the manipulative hands of history. Sarah's journalistic instincts ignited like a flame, and she knew she couldn't keep this unearthed treasure to herself. With a determination that bordered on obsession, she vowed to delve deeper into the mysteries of Blackthorn Manor, to unearth the truth about Lady Genevieve's tragic end, and to shed light on the enigmatic and elusive specter that haunted the mansion's halls. Her mind abuzz with newfound purpose, Sarah meticulously transcribed the contents of the maid's journal, preserving the fragile words for posterity. She meticulously cross-referenced historical archives, seeking to piece together the fragmented narrative of the past. Each line she deciphered and every faded photograph she uncovered brought her closer to the heart of the haunting tale that had lain dormant for so long. With each passing day, Sarah's obsession with the Blackthorn Manor and its haunting history grew, and she found herself consumed by an unquenchable thirst for the truth. Her once orderly life became entangled in the web of the unknown, as she immersed herself in the chilling accounts of Lady Genevieve's journey into the occult, unable to tear herself away from the darkness that seemed to seep from the pages of the journal. Little did she know that her quest for answers would lead her to confront forces beyond her wildest imagination, and that the journal she had unearthed would be the key to unlocking the door to a realm of horror and wonder that would forever change the course of her life. A sudden gust of wind swept through the haunted mansion, extinguishing the candles and plunging Sarah into darkness. Trapped within the foreboding walls, her heart pounded with primal fear, as if unseen hands were tightening around her throat, choking back her breath. Panic threatened to overwhelm her, but she clung to her resolve, refusing to let terror be her undoing in the face of the supernatural. As Sarah fumbled for her flashlight, the mansion seemed to come alive with unseen energies, a cacophony of eerie sounds echoing from all directions. Whispers seemed to reverberate in the chilling air, each carrying with them the echoes of forgotten lives, tales of sorrow, and the restless spirits that still roamed the halls of Blackthorn Manor. With a trembling hand, Sarah illuminated the darkened corridor before her, revealing haunting portraits of long-deceased Blackthorn family members who stared back at her with lifeless eyes. Each painting seemed to hold a story of its own, capturing the essence of the souls who had once inhabited the mansion, and who were now mere phantoms of the past. The more Sarah explored, the more she sensed a pervasive heaviness in the atmosphere, as if the walls themselves were burdened with the weight of centuries-old secrets. She pressed on, guided by an inexplicable force that seemed to lead her deeper into the heart of the haunted mansion. In a forgotten corner of the mansion, Sarah stumbled upon an old study, the room filled with ancient tomes and occult artifacts. Dusty books lined the shelves, their spines adorned with symbols and esoteric runes, like gateways to forbidden knowledge. The flickering light cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the air felt charged with mystical energy. As she browsed through the volumes, one particular book caught her eye, an ancient grimoire, its leather cover worn and weathered by the passage of time. Drawn inexplicably to its dark allure, Sarah opened the tome, revealing cryptic incantations and arcane illustrations that seemed to dance on the page. Intrigued yet cautious, she began to decipher the strange script, feeling the weight of Lady Genevieve's obsession with the occult permeate the room. Each word seemed to pulse with hidden power, and Sarah found herself teetering on the edge of a precipice. The desire to delve deeper into the forbidden knowledge clashed with the fear of unleashing forces beyond her comprehension. With a shiver, she closed the grimoire and returned it to its resting place, realizing that meddling with such dark arts was not only dangerous, but could also lead her down a path from which there was no return. She understood that Lady Genevieve's fascination with the occult had been a catalyst for her own tragic fate, and Sarah didn't wish to follow in those same footsteps. Unbeknownst to Sarah, her presence within the mansion had awakened dormant energies, and the spirits that lingered within its walls began to stir. Soft whispers brushed against her ears, and she felt an inexplicable presence drawing closer to her. The air grew colder, and the room seemed to pulse with spectral energy, as if unseen entities were trying to communicate with her. The ghostly encounter reached a climax when, in the reflection of an old tarnished mirror, Sarah caught a fleeting glimpse of a white figure standing behind her. Her heart skipped a beat, and she turned swiftly, only to find emptiness staring back at her. But in her gut, she knew she was not alone. As the night wore on, the mansion seemed to play tricks on Sarah's senses, warping reality and illusion until she could no longer distinguish one from the other. Shadows took on sinister shapes, and she caught glimpses of phantom figures out of the corner of her eye, disappearing the moment she turned her gaze upon them. With her nerves frayed, Sarah retreated to the grand ballroom, the very place where Lady Genevieve's ghostly apparition had been witnessed before. The air in the room was thick with an otherworldly energy, and Sarah felt as if she had stepped into a realm where time itself had become a mere illusion. In the dim moonlight filtering through the windows, the ghostly figure appeared once more. Her ethereal presence was both mesmerizing and unsettling, and Sarah found herself drawn to her like a moth to a flame. With a mix of fear and fascination, she listened to Lady Genevieve's hauntingly beautiful yet mournful voice as she whispered long-forgotten secrets and tales of betrayal and sorrow. The spectral encounters seemed to transcend time, and Sarah felt a connection to the tormented spirit before her, as if their destinies had intertwined in the tapestry of fate. In that moment, Sarah's journalistic instincts faded, and she became more than an observer. She became a vessel of empathy and understanding, yearning to offer solace to the restless soul trapped in the mansion's confines. As the night drew to a close, the ghostly apparition slowly began to fade, like a wisp of smoke carried away by the wind. Sarah felt a profound sadness wash over her, knowing that her time with Lady Genevieve's spirit was coming to an end. But she also sensed a glimmer of peace in the ethereal figure's eyes, as if the encounter had granted her a moment of closure in her timeless existence. In the aftermath of the haunting encounter, Sarah emerged from Blackthorn Manor forever changed. The spectral enigma that had eluded so many before her had not only captivated her curiosity but had also touched her soul in ways she couldn't fully comprehend. The haunting legacy of Lady Genevieve and the mansion's troubled past would forever be etched into her heart, and she knew that her encounter with the supernatural had opened doors to a realm of horror and wonder that would continue to shape her life's path. On a moonless night, as the thick clouds masked the celestial light, Sarah stood at the threshold of the ominous Blackthorn Manor, her heart pounding in her chest like a wild, untamed beast. The cold wind howled around her, carrying with it an eerie symphony of whispers and haunting echoes that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the mansion itself. With trepidation and determination intermingled, she crossed the threshold and stepped into the labyrinth of shadows that was Blackthorn Manor. The air was heavy with the weight of the past, and every creak and moan of the aged floorboards seemed to echo through the corridors like the footsteps of ghostly entities. Gulping back her fear, Sarah's hand trembled slightly as she placed her cameras and audio recorders strategically throughout the mansion, hoping to capture any evidence of the supernatural that she might encounter during her night of investigation. Each step she took seemed to echo through the cavernous rooms, amplifying the feeling that she was not alone, that unseen eyes were watching her every move. As the hands of the clock in the grand hallway crept closer to midnight, the atmosphere around her became palpable, the oppressive weight of an otherworldly presence settling upon her shoulders like a shroud of darkness. Her breaths came out in shallow gasps, and her senses heightened, attuned to the faintest sound or flicker of movement that might betray the existence of the supernatural. As the final echoes of the last chime dissipated into the night, the temperature in the mansion plummeted, sending shivers down Sarah's spine. The flickering candles that she had placed strategically seemed to dance wildly, as if the spirits of the past were trying to communicate with her in their own ethereal language. Feeling a tinge of doubt creep into her mind, Sarah forced herself to press on, reminding herself that this was the moment she had been waiting for, the chance to confront the ghostly apparition that had eluded so many before her. Her heart pounded in her ears like a relentless drumbeat as she continued her cautious exploration of the mansion, her eyes darting from one darkened corner to another. Suddenly, a gust of wind surged through the mansion, slamming doors shut behind her, sealing her fate within the haunted walls. Panic threatened to overwhelm her, but Sarah fought back the rising tide of fear, telling herself that she was a journalist on a mission to uncover the truth, a truth that could only be found by confronting the spectral enigma that had haunted the mansion for generations. Undeterred, she continued her search, each step forward taking her deeper into the heart of the darkness that clung to the mansion like a malevolent presence. The shadows seemed to dance and contort, playing tricks on her mind, and she felt as though she was walking through a waking nightmare, a world where reality and illusion intertwined in a macabre ballet. With each passing moment, the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred, and Sarah found herself questioning her sanity. Whispers seemed to reverberate from the very walls, carrying with them the sorrowful tales of those who had lived and died within the mansion's walls. Time lost its meaning as Sarah traversed the haunted halls, her mind fixated on the spectral encounter she sought. In the darkest depths of the mansion, in the grand ballroom, she finally felt the presence, the chilling aura of a ghostly figure manifesting before her very eyes. In that fleeting moment, time seemed to stand still as Sarah locked eyes with the ethereal form before her. Lady Genevieve's ghostly apparition, clad in an elegant gown that seemed to float on the air itself, glided gracefully across the ballroom floor. Her eyes, once filled with life and allure, were now empty and haunting, as if they held the weight of 1,000 unspoken sorrows. As Sarah struggled to find her voice, Lady Genevieve's ghost spoke in a hauntingly beautiful yet mournful voice, recounting long-forgotten secrets and heart-wrenching tales of betrayal and despair. The journalist's heart ached for the tormented soul before her, yearning to understand the truth that lay buried beneath the ethereal surface. The ballroom seemed to come alive with emotions, the air heavy with the weight of unresolved grievances and the anguish of a spirit trapped in eternal limbo. Sarah's heart swelled with a mix of fear and empathy, realizing that she was witnessing the manifestation of a soul seeking closure, a chance to break free from the chains of its tragic past. In that enigmatic encounter, Sarah realized that she was not just a journalist documenting a paranormal tale, but a conduit for Lady Genevieve's long-suppressed emotions. Their connection transcended the boundaries of time, and Sarah felt a profound sense of responsibility to help bring solace to the restless spirit before her. As the night wore on, Sarah and Lady Genevieve's ghost formed an unlikely bond, a communion of two souls destined to cross paths in the dark recesses of the haunted mansion. In the silence of that haunted night, Sarah's perception of reality and the supernatural merged into one, leaving her forever changed by her encounter with the spectral enigma that had haunted Blackthorn Manor for generations. In the aftermath of that fateful encounter with the ghostly apparition, Sarah's mind swirled with a whirlwind of emotions, her thoughts and feelings in a state of profound disarray. The weight of Lady Genevieve's tragic tale bore heavily upon her heart, leaving her with an overwhelming sense of responsibility to share the truth of the haunting with the world, a truth that had remained buried in the shadows for far too long. Determined to bring justice to Lady Genevieve's tormented soul, Sarah poured herself into her writing, meticulously crafting the haunting tale of Blackthorn Manor and the enigmatic spirit that dwelled within its walls. Every word seemed to come from a place of deep empathy, her pen channeling the emotions she had felt during that unforgettable night, as if the ghostly apparition's anguish had imprinted itself upon her very soul. As the words flowed from her, Sarah found herself consumed by an unrelenting drive to shed light on the forgotten history of Blackthorn Manor, to unveil the truth behind Lady Genevieve's tragic demise, and to exonerate her from the unjust accusations that had haunted her memory for a century. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, as Sarah dedicated herself to the task at hand. She sifted through historical records and archives, piecing together the puzzle of the past, determined to bring Lady Genevieve's story to life with unwavering accuracy and respect. The deeper she delved into the forgotten annals of history, the more she came to understand the complexities of Lady Genevieve's life, a life marred by betrayal, fear, and the oppressive weight of superstition. Sarah's writing became a labor of love, a testament to the restless spirit she had encountered and the countless others whose voices had been silenced by time. With each sentence, she felt a kinship with Lady Genevieve, as if their souls had formed an unbreakable bond, transcending the boundaries of the living and the dead. As she unveiled the haunting tale of Blackthorn Manor to the world, Sarah's work gained traction, capturing the attention of readers, history enthusiasts, and paranormal investigators alike. The mansion that had once been a symbol of fear and dread became a place of pilgrimage, drawing curious souls from near and far, all eager to experience the chilling presence of the ghostly apparition for themselves. Through her writing, Sarah not only unraveled the mystery surrounding Lady Genevieve's tragic end, but also shed light on the broader themes of injustice and prejudice that had shaped the course of history. Her words carried the weight of 100 years of silence, bringing to light the forgotten voices of the past and challenging the perceptions of those who had once judged Lady Genevieve with ignorance and fear. As the book's popularity soared, Sarah was invited to speak at conferences and symposiums, becoming a respected authority on paranormal history and the untold stories of the past. Her passion for justice and empathy for the forgotten spirits of history inspired others to delve into their own local legends and historical mysteries, seeking to give voice to those who had been silenced by the passage of time. Yet, amidst the accolades and recognition, Sarah never forgot the profound encounter that had ignited her journey. In the quiet moments of solitude, she would often find herself transported back to that haunting night at Blackthorn Manor, where the boundaries between the living and the dead had blurred, and the mysteries of the past had whispered in her ear. With every step she took in her newfound path as a writer and historian, Sarah felt the guiding presence of Lady Genevieve, as if the spectral figure had become her eternal muse. The connection they shared was one that transcended the limitations of human existence, an unspoken bond between two souls who had found solace and understanding in each other's company. As the years passed, Sarah's book became a timeless classic, cherished by generations as not just a tale of horror, but a story of resilience, redemption, and the enduring power of empathy. The haunting legacy of Blackthorn Manor and Lady Genevieve's spectral enigma continued to captivate the world, leaving a lasting imprint on the realms of literature and the paranormal. Sarah's journey didn't end with the publication of her book. Inspired by the spirits of the past, she embarked on a new mission to uncover and document more forgotten stories, to lend her voice to those who had been silenced by history, and to remind the world that the past was a treasure trove of lessons waiting to be learned. With each word she penned, Sarah felt Lady Genevieve's presence, like a whisper in the wind, guiding her along her path. The haunted mansion of Blackthorn Manor may have been the beginning of her journey, but it was also a portal to a world beyond the physical, where the stories of the past lingered, waiting to be shared and remembered. In the end, Sarah's encounter with the ghostly apparition had not only changed her life, but had also left an indelible mark on the world of the living and the realm of the supernatural, reminder that the spirits of the past were never truly gone, and their stories, like whispers in the night, would forever echo through the corridors of time.